Hello and welcome back to the Atlanteon Prologue. Tonight we are playing with Villicent, the half-elf sorcerer wizard, played by Tess. Tess, would you like to describe Villy for us real
Lily is a uh, teenage elf. Um, she normally I think of something funny to say, but she's been through a lot trying to find a new life in a new Sylaire from a different time that is not the one that she grew up in, but at the same time is very much the same. And trying to find family in this version of this timeline where her family's different. And are they really her family? I don't know. Lots of questions, seeking answers, trying to figure out who Billy's going to be over the course of a 2 year time stretch where we're going from age 15 to age 17 with Billy.
quick? Indeed. And we are about one third of the way through that time stretch. Since the so as part of this flashback, we are going to be roughly 8 months into your training.
Okay.
So it was spring when you came. It was spring when you came back. So it's 8 months later. So it is now late winter. Um, you are there's snow blanketing all the grounds of the temple, turning Sylaire into a winter wonderland. Several of the children have made snow elves all over anything that will continue to hold snow and not fall over. Some of the magically active children have created snow elves hanging upside down off parts of the trees as well, using using levitate charms and such. So the city is well decorated. The end of year holiday, or the midwinter holidays have come and passed. And but we are but the winter is the time when the university is mostly shut down, as befits nature, a place very
Boo.
firmly rooted in nature.
Nerd says boo.
Um, but the people all the families and everyone who lives in Solaire still have complete access to all the university facilities and such. It's just that there are no classes going on right now. But that just gives you and Elspeth plenty of time to practice with the rapier. Your arms have recently started hurting less. Um, you're still developing the arm strength and dexterity for holding the sword, but you are no longer dropping it. Uh, or at least you're still being disarmed by Elspeth from time
Probably
to
quite a bit.
from time to time. Well, she doesn't humiliate you by doing it to you all the time. She actually proves to be a very caring, patient, and resilient teacher. She never raises her voice to you except in praise. Um, she is also extremely uh, she's a great cheerleader for you. She does her best to encourage you. If you're uh, if you're getting frustrated with something, she switches to a different form or something to keep you from getting into that frustrated headspace. Um, and one time, while you were frustrated, you let off a brief little gout of spellfire, as as you're just like, "Rah!" and it was more of just kind of like a little poof than a
Yeah.
like a breath weapon attack. Um, but uh, but it was still just like a little. Then and a little puff of spellfire came off of you, like in a way, kind of like in a burst wave. Um,
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm
and as
sorry.
soon as it happens, I mean, it was barely enough to rustle the curtains on the edges of the dojo, but but your but it was enough to be visible and enough for you to have the feeling that you did something. Um, I just realized I'm on the wrong OBS page, and I'm gonna have to fix this now. Pardon me. Give me 1 second.
Okay.
There we go. Now it looks right. I was like, "There's something wrong here. Something wrong here." Okay. Now after that we cut that out. We'll return back to the dojo, where so it's mid morning on a late winter day. You've made your way from your apartment, uh, tracking through the snow, because they don't plow or do anything like that here. So you kind of have to just make your own way through the snow. Passing without trace works very well, um, as well as any other sort of spell that allows you to either float or that unencumbers movement.
Elspeth could probably give me pass without a trace.
Yeah.
I don't have that. It's a druid thing.
Well, then you are leaving a big trail through the snow.
That's okay.
As as you leave the big trail through
I'm Emily Marquette.
the snow, you make your way to the dojo, and it is of course open. It looks like it's been pretty freshly swept. You step inside and prepare and start preparing for your lesson. But Elspeth is not there, which is kind of odd because she usually almost always gets there before you. But an off-term day. You know, maybe she and Vishamus were partying a little bit too much last night.
So there's my mind. I guess I probably wait like 5, 10 minutes before I just kind of probably just like I don't know, grabbing the rapier and doing some light stuff, stretching a little bit.
Okay, so you start doing warm-ups on your own. 15 minutes pass. You're complete. You get through your entire or through most of your warm-up routine, and you realize you're almost ready to begin the instructor phase, but the instructor still is not present.
Um, how far is the dojo away from Marcos?
Um, in normal circumstances, about a 10-minute walk. However, right now,
Snow?
right now with the snow and everything, it's probably more like 20-25 minutes.
I think I'll just take the walk.
It's
Take
also
the
it
same.
also it's also uphill to get to the Markales, whereas it is downhill to get from the Markales to the dojo. So it will take a little bit longer
Mm,
to get to the Markales than it would for someone coming from the university tree down to the dojo would take.
okay. How long has it been since I've like seen the girls in pajamas? Do you think? If we're in the first 8 months, I think I said before, like it'd probably be like a year before I felt like really comfortable and like not guilty there. So I'm probably like approaching that point.
It's
You
been
know.
si- it's been 6 days. You spent midwinter there,
Okay.
um, but 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 uh, but it felt very very familiar, very comforting, but also incredibly weird.
Hmm.
Um, and you ended up getting kind of uncomfortable and excusing yourself a little bit earlier after the girls had opened their presents and performed the the midwinter ritual play
Oh,
that
and
all the
there.
children are supposed to perform.
I think for non-related to her past reasons, she's still, like I said, very weirdly uncomfortable with just any kind of romantic thing going on between Elspeth and Seamus because her parents were just not like that. But
Her
yeah, I think I'd just take the same path that Elspeth would normally take down here and just kind of enjoy the walk.
Okay. So
Give him a visit.
you get you put all of your woolen cloak and your heavy boots back on. Do you take and what possessions do you usually bring with you? You because I imagine you don't bring your full adventuring kit, correct?
Oh no, for sure. Probably gonna bring my. I definitely have my spell book. Always have my spell book.
So I figure you would probably have your spell book, a small backpack or sack of some kind. You'd
Yeah,
have
for
your
sure.
rapier.
Yeah, I think I've been really low key, and also I'm not really here. I'm a beta, so
Mhm.
yeah, I don't think I would take more than the rapier. Yeah, I'm not fully intending to if she missed training, it's fine. Just kind of going and checking. I'm sure everything's okay. Not even really going to train, but just kind of
Okay.
going to check in on them. Maybe feeling a little bit, I don't know, maybe Green's been at the temple a little bit more often and, you know, feeling kind of recovered from the weird Christmas time and wanting to see the girls again, I guess.
Okay. You so you 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 trudge your way through the snow. You see several other paths that have been worn, and one or two other people that are out and about. A group of children are playing in the snow not too far away. Um, on kind of on what would be kind of like the quad in front, the wild quad in front of the tree or between the tree and the temple.
Do I know any of the children at this point?
Um, yeah, you know most of them actually, or you've seen most of them around the tree. Um, several of them several of them you actually went to school with back in your time, and
Oh, okay.
they look younger like you kind of remembered them.
Any of them that called me Villicent? We used to talk about that I would be teased to be called Villicent.
Uh, they're most of the ones that you bullied are not present, but one or two are.
Okay, yeah, I just want to knock some snow off like mage hand some snow off a tree, just like right in their head. Just as a teasing thing, because I'd imagine we have kind of a friendly relationship here, even though it
Mhm.
was different back then.
So there's a big warp as one of the smaller trees out in the quad. The, you drop a load of you give it a quick shake with mage hand and it drops a huge pile of snow on top of the two of them. Um, they looked like they were kind the two of them were kind of off by themselves. They were looking at something between the two of them, and you just and they both they both look like snow elves themselves now. They're like,
I don't think
cool.
I don't think I'd make any attempt to hide that I did it. I think maybe a couple of them know me as little Willie's older cousin. I just kind of do like a joking, like look away and like rush off a little bit. Like, yeah, I didn't do it, but
Doesn't appear like anybody
okay.
noticed you do it.
It's just a joke. It wasn't nothing spirited.
You continue on, and you work, and you get to the front entrance of the tree. It is a large it is a large arched opening about 25 feet tall, between the lobes of two roots, two giant roots that come out. Um, there are windows in the roots that look out, that look that are they're kind of like arrow slits that go in that behind are presumably guards. Um, you've actually never been into those rooms, so you pass by them all the time though. The great entryway is wide open. It's still decorated for the holidays.
And their apartment is upstairs, right?
Yes, it is on
Okay.
the 18th floor, I
Okay. Um. Yeah, I make my way up. Like, do I want a dimension door? I don't know.
believe. You begin trudging up the stairs. The Dweomer on the stair, the tireless Dweomer on that is on the steps keeps you from feeling like you're overexerting yourself. You're pretty used to that though, or
Yeah.
you've gotten used to it rather. It's one of the differences between this place and your original place is
Yeah,
that.
Elspeth had a cottage.
Mhm, that's right. Um, but the tree there also did not have that the tireless Dweomer on the stairs. Um, you get up to the you get up to the 18th floor, and you and there you know there are set there's a long hallway that kind of runs in a ring around the to all the rooms that adjoin the exterior of the tree. Um, and so you walk past several you walk past several rooms. Uh, Classrooms are all empty, but and supply closets and such like that are locked. But the apartments and domiciles, the doors are still gaily festooned with with garlands of garlands of evergreen and twinkling twinkling lights.
I
You make your way to the door of the Markale's apartment, and you hear boisterous voices from inside.
um I knock on the door.
Roll me a perception check as well.
I feel like they've told me a million times, like, oh, you can always just come in, but I still don't. Nat 20.
You notice
Tell me everything.
that there are four extra sets of boots outside in the shoe area outside the door. They appear to be smaller, and they're metal shod.
And it sounds boisterous and happy inside, not like,
Yes,
okay, good.
and
I knock.
you hear a couple of voices that you don't recognize.
um, since it's kind of loud in there, I guess I tentatively open the door and just kind of peek my head in. Hello?
The door is kind of located, a little bit remote from the main living area. It goes past a couple of storage closets, and there's like a coat closet, and then there's laundry, and then there's the larder on one side, and the food preservation area, then the sanitary area, then then water closets, and then finally at the far end of the hallway is the main living area.
Okay. I guess I take off my coat, maybe a
Mhm.
and scarf and stuff, and hang them up where I'd imagine.
Yeah, and
Other stuff is hung up.
you see four other sets of winter clothing that are and since you got a nat 20 on your perception check, I'll just say they appear to be dwarf sized.
Interesting. The Seamus? Elspeth?
Hello, who's there?
Emily.
Oh, Emily. Emily, come in, Emily. They- And you come down the hall you step down the hallway, and and end up at the living area, and you see the Markale family. The two girls are playing with a pair of dwarven children. They have some sort of wire mesh armature that 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 is that opens and closes into a giant sphere, and then turns inside out and becomes a rectangular prism, and then turns inside out again and becomes a pyramid, and they're kind of tossing it back and forth, and every time one of them touches it, it changes into a different shape, and they're giggling as they do it.
I
Uh,
hope I'm not interrupting anything.
Vishamus and Elspeth are sitting in the sitting area with, there's a large roaring fire in the fireplace, and there's a couple of extra chairs that are pulled up, that 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 you see that have been they have they have a shrinking charm on them, so they've been shrunk down by spells to fit smaller statures. And there's there's a pair of dwarves. Uh,
Hello.
two one 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 with a great huge bushy black beard, and the other one with a very finely braided meticulous red beard.
I turned to Elspeth and I said, sorry, I didn't know you had guests. I just wanted.
No,
I,
no, you're always welcome, Emily. Emily, this is Fitz and Fun, stonecutter from the city of Tegu.
how do you do?
Oh, it's good to see you. It's very pleased to meet you. The other one says, "Yes, yes, of course. It's very pleased to meet any cousin or relation at all of uh, of our great friend Vishamus."
I look at Vishen and say, yes, cousin wants to move, something or other.
Vish-
Uncle's just easier.
Vishamus says, "Yes, I, your Emily's mother is so much older than me that that she was just about an adult having her own children when I was born." They, and the dwarves say, "Oh well, you elves are so long lived.